Hey guys, it's Flash right here, welcoming you to my newest project, and that is my FM2014 Career Mode series. Now this Career Mode series will be just like any other ones that you see on YouTube. They will be me just going over a team, going over a club, and just getting them to the highest level possible. Now, we're going to be playing the full simulation experience because we'd like to see the full game of Football Manager in its depth. Now, I have played a bit of Football Manager in the past. I did play 2010, but apart from that, that's about it. In terms of what the new features have brought in since that game came out, it's a bit hazy. So, this isn't my first run. I have had a couple runs, but only a couple of seasons. I've only played a bit of a League 2 team, and I've only played a bit of the team that I'm actually going to be as a practice file, of course. For my chosen leagues that we're going to be playing for this so far, I've gone for all of the UK and Islands leagues as low as they can go. This is just to make sure that we get ourselves a wide range, but without compromising my computer's performance. Because, as we can see, computer performance and game speed is not good. Now, and there is some quite decent players within these leagues anyway, so especially for the division that we're going to be playing in. Now, I'm going to select the lowest for each one of these leagues because there are some good potentials in each league. So it's not really much of a problem in terms of that. I've also disabled player attribute masking because I hate having to scout everybody. Especially when you're a low league team, when you've only got one scout, it takes forever to get a scout pool. And you don't really want to be spending a lot of your finances on scouts, because you don't really get a lot to use. But anyway, in terms of anything else, I'm not going to be no, I don't think I'm going to be using any more. So we're going to start up the game database. Now we are going to be playing, I'm not going to be playing as the Squirrel, as any team in the Squirrel, North or South, because a lot of people are doing it. And to be honest, it's getting a bit overdone. They haven't I don't know if they brought out the databases yet, which can let you go even lower. But even if I did, that would be a heck of a long series, and to be honest, I'm only going to be playing certain parts of it. I'm only going to be doing like pausing for highlights after the first few videos, just so soon as I get to know it, explain everything. Well, it'll take a while for me to explain everything, but it's better than what we think. It'll take a while to get up to the game database, so I might as well just explain how things are going to turn out. I'm going to be playing as a Skrill Premier team. Of course, since most teams in the Squirrel Premier are either balanced between full-time and part-time, their finances and their expectations are differed accordingly. Now, the team I'm going to play as is the team of Kidderminster Harriers, aka my local team. Now, they might be a bit biased in terms of how I want to do and how things are going to happen, but since I know the team a bit, and I know how the club's finances are going on, and I know certain things within the club, it makes sense to pick a team that you know in a league where if you pick other teams, you're like, okay, I might as well just play these guys because they are the best players, and then we'll try and pick any more. Plus, I didn't really want to make a typically hard team to choose to get out of the league, mainly because in real life, the team that is in Kidderminster Harriers right now could easily finish playoffs. They have the ability to do it. But in this game, with all the transfers in the first window, it will require a couple of new signings, which I will be making within the first transfer window. Now I'm going to be after dealing with this game speed whenever I've got recording on now. Right, sorry about that. I actually Had to step away from the recording for a sec there, which, yeah, it's alright, but anyway, we are on the personnel details. This is just standard stuff. I'm just going to, yeah, so just needed to type in Kidderminster there, since that is my place of birth. Well, it isn't, but it's, yeah, hometown and all that. My favourite formation, can I just say non-selective for now? Because I'm not really much decided on a final formation. I'm going to choose 4-2-2-2. Pass paying experience. This is usually pretty decent for if you want to get yourself better players, if you already have a reputation. I'm going to put it as a professional footballer. I don't want to go international because that's too much. But professional, it just says like, oh, you've played in the league. In League 2 or above football at some point. So, right. So, choosing team to manage, we're going to play as Kidderminster. We're predicted to finish 4th. Our chairman loves the club. We are nicknamed the Harriers. Our finances are okay, but they're a little bit better than you think for this kind of league, but it's not the best in terms of that we know a couple of teams that we have that. We have an estimated value of 1 million with a loan debt of £45,000, so it's not that bad. It could be a lot worse. Our stadium capacity is 6,238, with half of that being seated, which is pretty good for a League 2 standard, so we have quite a decent stadium, so we won't have to rely on saving finances to expand it anytime soon. Our training facilities are not really that great, neither is our youth facilities. Our continental competition is negligible, because we don't have any, and our region is UK and Ireland. So, we are going to play as Kidderminster. If the game lets me to. Don't want to add another manager, and I could start off with an international team, but that kind of is a bit meh. Anyway, so of course, price take charge at Kidderminster. We need to get rid of that, because most of that time that comes up, and I really don't want to deal with that. But I'm delighted to be in the day-to-day involvement of Agbra. Good. Now we have a personal message from Mark Serrell, who is our chairman, and he wants us to attend a meeting, which we are going to do. So this is just like the usual thing that you have. Sometimes you have interactions with board, staff, players. Generally, a lot of things can be done here, and you can actually change morale and thinking of you by doing this way. So we only have one option written there, and it's like that. Now, for this one, this is just basic. You just need to suck up to the board. Just say, I agree with everything. Apart from this one is where they tell you the board's minimum expectation. Now, they are expected to participate in the playoffs, which we can easily do. We will need to bring in a couple of players because of how Football Manager turns out. If you try and hold your team, it's not going to work. You need to bring in some new faces every now and then. Otherwise, teams get a little bit wise to what you want to do. Yes. We got a decent wage budget and a decent transfer budget, so it's not like I'm going to be needing it. The transfer budget I don't think I'm going to need. I don't think I'm going to need to splash out any cash right now. We can add that to the wage budget should be necessary, but we'll get on to budgets in a bit. Philosophies. Philosophies are what the board can judge you on, depending on how you do. And to be honest, I'm not really good in that kind of thing. So I'm just going to say, nah. Yes, I would like to have them meet the journalists meet me, because if you don't, the journalists kind of see you as and see you as a bit of a Debbie Downer, and just they won't like you. Yeah, now I'll be passed over to my assistant manager, which is just that. Okay. Team policies. You want to arrange an inter-squad friendly tomorrow? No. I generally don't between the reserves and the main squad. It doesn't really do anything. All it does is just help with a bit of fitness. And to be honest, I can get myself I can achieve that with playing against other teams, and better for me for that as well. In the port view regarding the team, yes, I generally like to see given a second opinion on the squad. I mean, with the rest of your stuff, yes, I would. Regular import, yeah, I like to have that quite constantly. Mainly because I like to see player development and just see that overall. Now, if this is just for any other things, I'm not going to... Usually I try to do with take control of friendlies for me, I just don't like to play them at all. But for all of these, apart from training, we are actually... general training. Mainly because no one is with the senior squad right now. We will be changing that. And in terms of anything else, no thanks. And those 2 meetings have ended, which is very nice. Anyway, we will deal with all these in a minute, and we're going to have a look at the actual team itself. Now, this is our current team. We do have a bit of scrounging around and all that. We're going to list our players' potential first. So, ability-wise, the best player at the club right now is the big man, Michael Gash. Now, he is currently 26, he's mainly used for a target man, and his aerial ability kind of makes being a target man just obvious. His pace kind of lacks it though, but he makes up for it. Whoops. Just need to go back in there. Now, in terms of potential, the best potential we have is currently a tie. Our 2 best potentials are currently, right now, Anthony Malbon. He's an advanced forward, a decent bit of pace, which is, yes, he does have a bit of pace, so to speak, but the mainly aspect is for finishing for him. Now, his current training coach report is that he will be a good League One striker in the future. So, if anybody who manages a League Two club wants a decent striker that will have a decent bit of potential, there's your guy. And the other one is our centre back, as Sinead Dunkley. Now, he is a central defender, I believe. Central and limited. He can play both, but his main one is mainly limited, I think. Just give me a sec, and I'll find it. Training. No. Yeah. I need to go over these menus, which I'm going to actually do right now. This is normal profile, which is just the summary of stats and all that in terms of form. Attributes is basically it's the standard default layout, which you could see if you played anything before FM2014. So you can easily see stats in the hexagon format, which is quite nice. Shanae in this case he's quite decent defending at this level. The only thing that really lacks for him is speed, which is kind of a bit of a shame, really. I think he is a little bit quicker in real life, to be honest. I think he could have done with a couple of notches up in terms of pace. Probably one in acceleration, the very minimum. But apart from that, they got it pretty much spot on. Information, this is the one I was looking for. You got your best roles as a centre back, so we could play him at his best potential, either as a limited defender or as a central defender. I think he's better though as a support. No, actually, no, defence. Defence centre. Nationality is just English. We could have a private chat with him if we want to. If we have anything, we got the usual transfer windows. We'll be getting onto those in a bit. transfer offer, we won't be getting any of those until January, I don't think. And offer to clubs is obviously the usual. The contract info is obviously the state of his contract, which usually it's quite nice. I think these ones are the real life contracts that they're under. I'm not particularly sure. I will need to, hang on, let me just check first. Now, in the under-21s, we do have someone that's on quite a high wage, and that is Ryan Rowe. Yeah, he's on £900 a week, so yeah. Yeah, this is kind of the real thing. If not, please correct me. But anyway, back to the actual. Hey, we got contract offers just in case. Yeah, things can get a bit weird, but prove his quickness. Well, we're getting onto that in a bit. These are for like any sort of things. We'll be going on to these shortly. We've also got coach reports, which is the usual scouts reports or any kind of thing like that. Currently, Shanae is the second best defender in the squad, according to my assistant, with the best being Josh Gowling, but we'll get onto that in a bit. Stats, form, those won't come up yet. Comparison, we can compare him to any other player, which we are going to do. Yeah, pretty much that's how it is. In terms of stats between our two best centre defenders. We got history, which is basically all the career stats and achievements and all that. So it's not really much enticing for that. Now, in terms of large amounts of potential in the coming future, our best long-term potential is Joe Lolly, and in real life he is currently amongst the top goal scorers for the club, and currently, and his stats kind of changed so far. I'm not really sure why. I don't think whoever came up with the stats for him actually had set stats for him because he hadn't played yet at the time when they were scouting him. His best thing is false 9, but it will change to advance forward at some later point. False 9, I haven't really played with a false 9 yet. I think he'll be like a defensive forward or an attacking mid, either way. So his reports will say he will become a decent Sky Bet League 2, so he will do well in this league. But when he gets there, but he would need game time because he's 20 years old already. I think loaning him out might not be a best bet. We've also got a few fringe players, which we will need to have a look at. We also got our second choice goalkeeper, Nathan Vaughan. He's going to be having, since there was a lot of difference between our first choice goalkeeper, Danny Lewis, it's going to be hard for him to break into the squad, unfortunately, but we'll get to that. We've also got quite a decent number of fringe players, but we're going to get onto the players in terms of that in a bit. We're going to need to have a look at, and we've got a few messages, but we'll get onto that in a minute. I'm going to move on to the finances, because that's where we need to look at. Now, finances page is obviously very, very underrated, as a lot of people who do any playthroughs of Football Manager will tell you. Currently, right now, our balance is at 453,248. But that's not the number that we're looking at. The number that we're looking at is this one right here, is the projected balance. This projected balance will tell you roughly how much money you'll have come the end of the season, should the same thing happen each and every month. It won't, but it's just a rough guess as of yet. Currently, we're going to still be in the green come the end of the season, but I think that will change once new players come and go. So, yeah. We could also talk to the board should we need to. We've also got confidence, which the board have in us. The main thing when you just join a club will be job status, because in order to get rid of you as a manager, they will need to pay you compensation. Which, if I have a look, yes, a considerable sum of money to terminate my contract, which will kind of be a bit of a stupid move, really. In terms of competitions this year, we got first round of the FA Cup and the semi-final of the FA Trophy. FA Trophy may be a bit difficult to get to, but we'll see when we get to it. In terms of overview for the boardroom, we can use this to change our wage budget and all that. We've also got staff. We've got one assistant manager. We can have one under-18s manager should we need to. We could also have one director of football, which I don't think we need right yet. We can have up to 3 scouts, two under-18 staff, and one more other. In terms of coach. I think we can only get one more coach, if I'm correct. Yes, which is unfortunate, but I think I know which one we've got. We've got one affiliated club, which is Stourbridge, which we can only host a friendly between the two sides, which is unfortunate. We don't have any proposed affiliates right now, and currently pitch condition is perfect, but I'm expecting that to change come the end of the season. Mainly because we are not the only ones sharing this ground having this ground right now. Currently we are sharing this ground, sharing Agra, with a different team from the Skrill North, and that team is Worcester City. Currently, at the point of during this season, they had to sell their ground in order to keep up with costs because it was too big for them. And God, I really need to get my words together. And they went into ground share with us for the next few years so their stadium could be built, and then they've had a few ups and downs here and there. And at the end of it, things kind of went bad for them in terms of building their new stadium, and they finally got it back on track as far as I believe. So they could be on their way. Now, that's interesting. This guy, I'm not even bothering going to go for him into the transfer. He was with the club last season, and he kind of did bad for us. In terms of that, we're going to have a look at our, what are we going to do? Oh, tactics. Oh yes, we need to set that. We are going to be playing with this. We are going to be playing with a 4-2-2-2 formation, which is the one I tend to use. And plus, when I have a look at the team, actually no, we're not playing with like this formation. We're going to be playing with this formation with 2 wingers and 2 midfielders. Now, the reason that we have this formation is because when I look at the squad, in terms of depth, this is the best formation to go for. And we could easily change this kind of formation by making things like that happen, or we could have like a 4-3-3 or whichever. So we're going to be getting into tactics at a later point, but right now we need to have a look at fixtures, because we kind of need to have a look at our schedule and see what kind of friendlies do we have. We have Man City under 21s. That's actually a pretty decent game. We think we're going to get quite a few with that. In terms of finances, we will need to get some decent teams in order to play. Now, there is one game I'm not too sure that we want, and that's this Altrincham game. We also, in terms of away form, you need at least an away game. At least 1 or 2 away games. Now, Stalybridge away, I'm not really too sure. I could either choose to have Stalybridge away or have Altrincham away. And I think Stalybridge, they're not going to provide much of a decent team for us. So I'm going to get rid of this fixture, and instead what we're going to do is have a home game selected on that day against somewhat of a decent team. Now, we could play... probably not. I think what we're going to do... Oh crap, did I just send that? Give me a sec, I just need to have a look at that. Yes, cancel. Frick. Yeah. Right, so we're going to choose another team, and the team that I want to go against particularly is the Aston Villa under 21s. I particularly want to choose teams that are close to us, but not really the senior team. I really want to face the under 21s, because if I face the senior team, they most likely reject me. if I choose that, we will get a decent bit of profit from it, which is very nice. Now, in terms of that, we are also going to be... I don't know if we're going to play any more in terms of fixtures. We could do. And to be honest, I think we're going to. Because I've got an idea. We're going to... Actually, yeah. We're going to do this. Because I've actually tried this in a previous so far. And it actually worked out pretty well for me. What we're going to do is we're actually going to crowd up a little bit of friendlies. And that is because we are going to have... we're going to have a trial day, so to speak. And in order to do that, we need... Why the hell is Eastwood there? No. No, I don't want it. I don't want Eastwood playing me. I think I need to continue before doing anything, so... Right, so yeah, we'll get to that in a bit. So we're going to have a trial day in order to get the best people possible. Now we're going to have our team meeting right now, which is going to dictate the morale. As we can see on the right here, we've got team reactions to how I say and how and what I say and in what time of tone. So right now I'm going to take a calm approach, and we are going to make things happen. Now, obviously, it tends to be one of the major players that comes forward first and introduces themselves, preferably the one with the most experience. Now, I tend to be upfront and be very, very honest about where we could play. And I'm going to say something, well, not really passionately, because if I say... We can choose any one of these in terms of mood. And I think passionately we can go and make the playoffs this season. And I think everybody liked that. Well, apart from a few people, but we'll see when we get to it. I actually like that reaction very much, and... There we go. No players reacted badly, and 18 players reacted well. Nice. And in terms of that... Yeah, they all reacted the same, so yeah, we did that pretty well. We've also got some... Our chief scout, Andy Fern, is our scout. He actually does this... the best thing about... the scouting in terms of scouts for Kitty is that your chief scout works for nothing. Yeah, he will actually work for nothing, and that is exactly what we're looking for. Now he's already got a few things for him, and he's actually pretty decent. Ooh, very nice. Let's see, how much would he want? Whoa, that's quite a bit of a contract. Ouch. I think we might need to leave that one. He's 20 years old. He's actually got a bit of breathing room, but I'll let him short this. In terms of... Yeah. He's alright. I might as well let him to short this as well. Okay. So... I think that'll do it for now in terms of that. I think what we're going to do in the next part is we're going to sort out our fixtures, and we're also going to sort out our scouting methods and how we're going to set up our club for the coming season. So I'll see you guys then for that.